Hello and welcome back, everybody. Today we are playing some more Factorio, and let me tell you, it is going to go very, I don't want to say badly. Our factory becomes spaghetti in this. And that's mainly because limited space, somewhat, and laziness, I gotta say. It's not bad. I think it ends up looking very nice, but it certainly does get a little bit cramped. Right now we're working on the yellow inserters. So that requires iron gear wheels, iron plates, and green circuits. I believe it's 2 green circuits to 1 iron gear wheel and iron plate. I could be wrong. That seems to be the ratio that I'm going with right now, though. So I stole the iron gear wheel and the iron plate from the yellow belts factory, which in hindsight might not be the best idea because I am producing a lot of yellow belts, and I'm also going through a lot of them once green science starts and just picking them up. So we'll see how that goes. For now, I think it's a bad idea. Anyway, I'm branching off the yellow belts so I can bring them down here because green science requires yellow inserters and yellow belts. So we are going to feed that in between the copper wire factory and the yellow belt factory, underneath the belt balancer, and then underneath the where I grab the green circuits from. So now we have one ingredient for the green science all the way down there, and now I need to figure out how I want to set up the assemblers for the yellow belt, or not the yellow belts, the yellow inserter arms. So right now I'm just kind of deciding we're going to use 4 and put them in that kind of pattern. The one in the top left has to go up there because all the other ones I'm loading from the top and the bottom, and I can't do that for the top left corner because the green belt, or the green circuit, you guys can see, obviously I have to take from the left. So now I have to do the power puzzle, which I kind of like. That's one of my favorite parts of Factorio. After you set everything up and you have the perfect plan laid out, sometimes it can get kind of ruined by providing power to everything. And that's more apparent early game when you only have the wooden power poles. Once you get the steel ones, it makes it a little bit easier. And once you unlock substations, it is very easy, and you basically don't have to worry about it. This is because, for those of you who don't know, substations can power a 16 by 16 block, so you really don't have to worry about putting it in bad places anymore because it'll just power everything. And this is one of the reasons why I gave each module of my factory a 16 by 16 square footprint, just because we can slap a substation in the middle of that and we won't have to worry about power to anything. I also like the 16 by 16 footprint just because it's a power of 2, and power of 2s are just nice in general. They're easy to count with. Maybe it's just because I'm a computer science major. Anyway, we are getting the yellow inserter arms balanced. They're going all the way around. Everything's looking nice. And then I realized that we are not getting enough iron gear wheels and iron plates. You can see how empty the belt is. So I have to make the decision to grab the iron gear wheels from the factory that is producing them. So I have to wrap that around and then route the iron gear wheels underneath of the yellow belts. And this is where it starts getting kind of spaghetti. So you can see we have tons of belts in the middle here. And then I just kind of feed the iron gear wheels straight into it, and I don't have any iron supplied to it. And I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I'm just kind of wandering around at this point. I don't know if I realized this or not. Yeah, I don't think I realized this, because it looks fine right now, except for those few iron gear wheels that are in the iron plate. But that's because the yellow belts are completely saturated with the inserters. So I'm going to notice this in a little bit. But right now I am merging the yellow belts with the yellow inserters for the single belt that will be fed into the green science factory. So here we go. And this is also another module that gets kind of messed up. It looks weird just because of the turret down there. But I'm not going to move the turret because right now it's in a really good position to defend from biters. Because to get to the base, the biters essentially just run diagonally up from their nest. And they just happen to run right into where the turret is first. And the turret always aggroes them first, but I don't run the risk of them going like any further in the factory where it is right now. So for now, I'm going to keep it there. I might move it later, but it's not, right now, it's not really harming the factory at all, I don't think. Or at least harming that module. Anyway, I'm finishing setting up the green science factory. Just making the final adjustments on the inserter. And then I decided that's terrible. And once again, I kind of want to make a weird kind of buffer system. And then we were attacked very briefly. I barely even saw it. I just heard it. And it doesn't really faze me because that turret is taking care of business very well. Anyway, there we go. We got green science being made. It's being put into the science module right there. And we can fit one more assembler in because we're actually going to need it. Green science takes 6 seconds for one to be produced. So right now we're making 5 every 6 seconds, which it should be all right for now. I definitely want more. And we start working on advanced material processing so we can get those steel furnaces and so we can start making steel. Because steel is a very important resource. And that's also something we are going to have to deal with next episode. Because if I actually want to start working on steel production, I'm going to have to up my iron production. And right now it certainly can't support some of that being turned into steel. Because the factory is using it a lot right now. Anyway, I wander up here to check on our power and check on our coal because I want to extend the wall all the way over, and I noticed that coal ran out. So that's something I want to work on, and I might actually expand the stone production capability because it's really not making a lot right now. Anyway, we get all the way over, and now we are most of the way protected from biters. I want to go all the way around the factory too and expand as needed. But right now we are pretty safe. We were just attacked, but we put up the wall, so we should be good for now. And I decided to put some more assemblers on the outside. Obviously, you need to grab more iron. Because I want to put it on the outside too, just because I want to have at least, at the very least, one green science being produced every second. But why not go a little bit more than that? So I add 2 more. Actually, I add 3 more. I just had to adjust spacing on that. So now we have 3 more assemblers producing green science. Place the electrical pole so it's powering all 3 of them. And now I just need to figure out how to route it all the way up to that weird area. And I just decide to get rid of the wall and have it go outside the factory. This is, once again, just sheer laziness, honestly. I think that's the main contributing factor to the factory going kind of spaghetti, although it kind of seems like more work, what I'm doing. I don't know. It's just getting kind of bad. And there we go. We can make steel now, and we can make furnaces. Or steel furnaces, so that's something we're going to upgrade. Next episode, of course, because if I decide to overhaul everything, we're not going to have enough time. So I head up here, check out my surroundings for this big iron patch. I'm checking because I've been attacked from the north before, and I'm not really sure where that nest is. It might be directly west of here, but I'm not really sure where it is. I'm going to go exploring beginning of next episode. We have a lot to do next episode, wow. But I'm going to begin exploring up there, trying to figure out where that nest is coming from. And I see something terrible. We've run out of coal. So I don't know if we're using more of it. It might be because of the buffer system the burner inserters are just slower because I replaced them with, or I placed the yellow inserters with the burner inserters. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I decided to just throw more coal at the whole system. That'll probably fix it. And I also replaced the burner inserters with the yellow inserters. Because I'm really not too afraid of a power outage, like stopping everything completely. Because if that happens, I can just put more coal in the system to jumpstart it. We'll see if I ever have a blackout, how that turns out. I think we'll be fine. Of course I say that now. And then I realized the terrible mistake I had made with the iron gears earlier. We are out of assemblers, and I have to purge the entire line of the gear wheels. Just because I set this up so stupidly. So we purge all of that, and we also have to purge the yellow belt line, because that's also entirely filled with gear wheels. Because I fed the iron gear wheels from the factory where they're produced into a splitter that was going into that. So I need to get rid of all that. And luckily I can only grab half of it. And so the iron will be coming back now. There we go. So now we load them onto one side of the belt. And now the really fun part, we have to get iron onto the other side of that belt. This is one, like I said, the small little puzzles, like the power, supplying power to everything, and like this kind of puzzle in Factorio, where I have to get iron to the other side of that belt with a very limited amount of space. This is why I love Factorio. And sometimes why I hate it. But mainly, this is why I love it. So I'm bringing the iron over here, grabbing more belts because I need them, trying to figure out how I actually want to do this. Because I really do have a very limited amount of space. So I end up deciding I'm going to take the yellow belt factory input, put that underground, and I can wrap that around here. Add the underground belt there. But unfortunately, guys, that's all we have time for today. This just went full spaghetti, but it looks nice. Guys, don't forget to like and sub. There will be much more Factorio, as you can tell, and I will catch you guys later.